Okay, here we have Heather and Brad White. So, how long have you been married?
25 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
and did you talk about finances before you were married?
Some.
Like about what?
What was the question?
If you talked about finances before you were married?
Are you asking what did we specifically discuss? It was a long
Yeah.
time ago. I don't recall.
Like, who handles what?
We had a lot of trust at that time in each other. That it would be
And still do.
a mutual effort to keep good finances.
But I mean, as far as who has like originally, Dad did all the finances and the paying of the bills and everything, and now I do it.
It's true. I kept the checkbook ledger. I did the tax returns. I had probably most control of it at the time, but I've learned to release the reins, if you will. No. She just took over.
So the
By
rules
default, not
changed
because I necessarily
throughout the
want.
marriage.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit.
So now, what would the rules be?
Well, now we have an accountant do our taxes because of the business, but I do all the bill paying and the personal finances because Dad's too busy with business finances. So, but we've always had we've always had joint accounts. We've always discussed like big spending. I mean, when we first got married, it was if we want to make a purchase over $100, but I mean $100 now would not be $100 then. But we've always been, you know, not just spending money behind each other's back, or I have my money and he has his money. It's ours. But we're respectful of one another, that we're not going to just go out and spend, you know, whatever we want. It's, you know, a mutual thing.
Okay, so what is the best thing that you have done as a couple financially?
Purchase a house together? Long-term investment?
I would say it's been, like I just said, making sure that we're communicating with one another about it. Because, like, if Dad went out and bought a motorcycle and said, hey, look at what I just bought, I'd be like, we didn't even talk about this, you know?
Right.
So,
Okay, now what is the worst thing you've done as a couple financially?
I think it was when we bought a fifth wheel camper, thinking we would use it all the time. And
Good
we bought
example.
it. We bought it on a loan, and we hardly used it. And by the time we sold it, and we calculated how much we had spent in payments, we had have gone on a very nice vacation.
It averaged about $675 a night, I think, was what
Yeah.
we calculated.
Wow.
Yeah, it was stupid money.
Could stay
So
in a
that's
nice
why
hotel.
when we sold that one, we waited 3 years and we shopped around until we found exactly what we wanted and we paid for it.
Cash.
Yeah, no loans. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay, last question. What advice would you give to young people about finances and choosing a spouse?
Choose a spouse that will understand that it's a joint commitment and that that it should be shared finances. I mean, I don't necessarily understand the separate bank accounts and such when you get married, and I have my account and you have your account, and that's just, I don't think, a healthy arrangement, because it's kind of holding back on what marriage is really about anyway, becoming one. So you kind of should treat your finances as one arrangement.
I think it works for some people, though.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
wouldn't.
they kind of have like set amounts, and then they agree, they communicate, and they agree on.
It's not the only way. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's the only way, but I think it could become an obstacle in a relationship where when we just kind of understand it to be
Our
what's
money.
hers is mine, what's mine is hers, it's ours together. There's really no debate about who earned it or anything like that.
Right.
It just avoids a lot of other potential
Mm-hmm.
conflicts or problems.
Yeah, I would say just make sure that you communicate about it, both of you. It can't be just one-sided. It needs to be you're both communicating together to make sure that you're on the same page. Because finances, money can change people. You know, it can, for one way or the other. So you have to be careful that it's for the positive part of your marriage, because there's a lot of people that end up getting separated or divorced over money. So it can be a really
Number one reason.
It can become a point of contention quickly.
yeah.
So the sooner you decide that it's just we're in it together, definitely set you up to avoid
And if it's if you're
problems.
having difficulty communicating about it, get help to understand each other a little better. Just like in counseling, for like your relationship with maybe something different. You know, there's help that can make
And
it.
avoid going beyond your means, because that just causes a lot of stress.
Yeah, that would be a really good one, is that you live below your means. Just because you make, you know, a whole, like, say you finish your college degree and your first job isn't so great, but maybe after a few years, you know, somebody comes and says, come work for us and I can double your salary. Well, just because you're making a whole lot more money doesn't mean that you need to go buy a bigger house or buy a house and buy a real expensive house. You know, make sure that you live below your means, because look at, like, right now, if people were living like at their means or maybe a little above their means and then they don't have a job, then what do? You know, then you're really stuck. So, yeah, communicate, live below your means. What else do we say for advice?
Save for a rainy day.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Anytime, babe.
Mhm.
Bye, Liz.